Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. The Honour Oak pub in South London yesterday saw a thing called story time. This is when people come and read to children. This, you may think, would be a good thing, but it is not. Because the people who are coming to read to children are not normal people. They're not the sort of people you'd want your children to meet. These are men who have a sexual fetish. They like to dress as women, it turns them on. They like to get close to children. Why is it that these people, these fetishists who like to wear woman face and who get all excited wearing ladies' clothes, constantly want to get close to children? I think we all know. We all know exactly why they are so interested in children. Well, people have had enough. And this is certainly true at the Honour Oak pub in South London. Yesterday there was a clash. Fists were thrown, people were hit, objects were thrown, the police were called. Both sides are claiming that the other side did it. But in actual fact, it was all started, of course, by having sexual fetishists wanting access to children. The tide is turning around the world. People have had enough. They don't want these people to have anything to do with children. They want them to keep away. They want them to leave the children alone. Keep the children safe and certainly keep them away from these predators. So we're going to take a look at this story, see what's going on and find out why are these people so absolutely obsessed with having access to your children. Here goes. So, chaos at drag queen children's event. Trans activist smashes woman on the head with a wooden pole during clashes with conservative protesters who claim a concerned parent was, damaged in the hand. The groups clashed outside the Storytime event at the Honour Oak pub in South London. It's some of the wording that they've used is, of course, completely mad, but we will get into this. So, a clash outside a drag queen Storytime event in South London yesterday saw a series of injuries, including that of a transgender activist, a man, who alleged he was punched in the face by a Met police officer. I'm not going with their particular pronouns, I'm using the correct ones. And they're going LGB. It's nothing to do with LGB, it's T. But anyway, pro-trans demonstrators and conservative activists, or, well, you see, they use the term conservative activists. Small c conservative, but conservative activists. Do you mean normal people who want to protect their children? Faced off outside the Honour Oak pub in Lewisham yesterday amid the reading session, where a grown man wearing women's clothes and sexualising himself wanted to get desperately close to children. Turning Point UK, which assembled to argue the storytelling session is not suitable for children, claims the protesters were attacked by armed thugs in masks swinging sticks. They call them, they're described as a right-wing group, but there's no evidence of this. They don't necessarily have to be a right-wing group. It's just because you're a concerned parent. Anyway, attending, one of them apparently was damaged in the hand with a pointy thing. Can't say the words. YouTube rules. A trans activist also claimed to have suffered serious injuries after being punched in the face by a cop. An insufficient number of times, I would suggest, while administering first aid to a fellow demonstrator. The Met Police has, of course, denied the allegations. Clashes outside the pub, which appear to have suffered damage, including broken windows, between the two groups, are reportedly a monthly occurrence. You'd think the pub would learn. Police confirmed in a statement yesterday that 2 people had been arrested for assault and a third for a public order offence. And there they are. Look, there's the pro-grown men in drag wanting to get close to children, and the anti-that, because now he calls himself a she, but he's obviously a man, and he hasn't shaved today. He's an ugly man as well. Definitely an ugly woman, and he got a biff in the face. What a shame. Oh dear. Footage from the protest shows how chaos erupted outside the Honour Oak pub while a drag queen called That Girl, who obviously, I may point out, is not a girl, you can tell from his hairy chest, getting close to children for the storytelling, because he likes to get close to children, especially dressed like that, with his nuts, firmly ensconced in something that's probably giving him a little bit of pleasure every time he moves, as he's sitting there with the children. Video footage shared online shows how masked demonstrators swinging sticks that appeared to double as pro-LGBTQ flags clashed with other protesters. If they think this is going to improve next time, I think next time there's going to be a lot more trouble. There absolutely will. Turning Point UK told Mail Online that their demonstrators arrived outside the pub around 6 a.m. yesterday to secure the ground, alleging that police have made it clear to both sides that whoever arrives first to an area is allowed to get set up there and the other side will be moved down the pavement. The group claims that upon their arrival they were met by a hostile group of masked thugs brandishing wooden clubs, some of which are understood to have had sharpened ends. The protesters allege that members of the Antifa group then proceeded to follow and chase them down the pavement with their clubs as they tried to illegally block us from setting up our speakers and banners. These radical gender activists also pelted the concerned parents who had joined us with glass and plastic bottles, a Turning Point UK spokesperson told the Mail. The far left thugs attempted to barge our protesters out the way with their wooden clubs, and then we continued to set up. They began beating people, and one even got in the hand with a doodah, I can't say the words, in the hand with a metal object. This is what these people do now. Why the police aren't doing more, I don't know. The group alleged that one protester, who they identified as a concerned parent, was, done in the hand, I can't say the words, after the left-wing activist had targeted his face. He managed to block the attack with his hand. Similarly, the pro, and don't forget, these are the people who want tolerance. Oh, we must have tolerance. We must have tolerance. We're not tolerating you, but we've got to have tolerance. Hypocritical, two-faced wankers, which is what they're doing, as they're sitting next to the kids, knocking one out. Similarly, the pro-LGBTQ MOUSE protesters allege that their demonstrators were injured yesterday. Oh, I don't care. The Trans Safety Network, a bunch of mentally ill men who get off on being women, branding the Conservatives as, it's a fascist term. We've got to use that, because they're not concerned parents protecting their children from predators. Oh no, if you're one of them, you're a fascist now, apparently. Turning Point UK disputes. Turning Point UK disputes and allege that activist Ada was injured during the face-off. The fascists grabbed people, they said, and began attacking them, breaking the pub window and causing serious injuries, the group tweeted alongside a photo of Ada. Ada is not his real name. The far left, extremist left-wing group further claimed that police targeted trans protesters whilst providing urgent first aid care. I don't believe that for one instance. They stated Ada was providing this first aid support and was punched across the face by TSG officers trying to arrest someone. Didn't arrest enough. Met Police, in a statement provided to Pink News, denied the accusations, saying that the force has no reason to believe these injuries could have been caused by a police officer. Officers attempted to engage with the person at the scene about the injuries, but they declined. He declined. He declined. We would welcome the opportunity to engage in the future, should he wish to. There they are. Oh, the very weirdos. Well, there you go. You play silly games, you win silly prizes, and you won a silly prize. And maybe next time you won't, turn up to abuse children. Maybe leaving the kids alone is a good idea. Ada, addressing his injuries in an online post, added, "Don't look at this picture of me and be afraid of coming down. Look at me, get angry and come down. Make it clear that this won't stand in Lewisham." Oh, I believe next time it definitely won't stand. Because I think in terms of sheer numbers, concerned parents outnumber predatory, child-loving pedos. Simple question, isn't it? Who's got the most? Who's got the biggest army? Anyway, Turning Point says they did not antagonise the group and instead walked past them in an effort to set up away from them in an open space next to the Honour Oak before the protest. The right-wing group, they call them right-wing, there's no evidence of this, alleged they were attacked and acted in self-defence, noting that is why none of our people were arrested. Met Police have confirmed that 3 individuals were arrested at the protest. It is unclear if any have been formally charged. Honour Oak Pub has not yet responded to this, although photos show the establishment suffered damage during the clash. I think that'll be the end of it. Next time, what they need to do, the decent people who want to protect children from these predatory child abusers, need to make sure that the pub really doesn't host this again. What they say is up to what they do is up to them, of course. I'm not suggesting they do anything, but I think it would be a wise move, perhaps, for the pub to consider its future, especially in the face of ongoing difficulties. And it's about time. I'm coming up. When the body has a disease, it needs to be cured at an early stage. It must not be allowed to fester. The longer the disease is in the body, the worse the body gets. And finally, this cancer is starting slowly to be excised from society, to be rejected. People are wising up. People are now becoming to a point where they are prepared to say enough is enough, and that we don't want children exposed to this kind of thing any longer. They need to be protected. We know for a fact that fetishists, trans and that are 10 times more likely to be sexual offenders, for example. I did a story yesterday about a trans, and it was all to do with pictures of very young people, and it's quite a lot of it. They tend to have a lot of mental issues. You don't want to be putting people with mental issues anywhere near children. You need to protect them, and they need to be seen for what they are. Absolute dangers. Now, not, of course, every single one of them, but statistically, they are more likely to represent a danger than anyone randomly in the street. And so you must protect children by keeping your children safe. Keep them away from people like this. Reject the whole ideology. They're not all gender dysphoric. That's such a rare thing. They're just inadequate little men who can't form relationships with real women, and so they try to become a woman. And it's amazing. They always call themselves transitioning, which is the term for I'm not prepared to cut my cock off. And they also say that they're lesbians because they're all actually straight men. None of them want anything to do with someone else's penis. So they are a weird lot. They're just fetishists. They just get off on it. And you don't want them getting off on it with your children. So I shall stop there. Bound to be very controversial, this one, but never mind. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and damn well protect your children from these people. And goodbye.